Where? From West Palm Beach. No, from California to the New York Islands. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land is made for you and me. So yes, my dear brothers and my sisters, we need to catch the vision. We need to live the dream. We need to pursue what Dr. King pursued. And while I Have a Dream is a great speech, Dr. King, he too lost his life because of a violent act involving a gun. And though he said that he had been to the mountaintop, when freedom-loving people catch his vision, we too can say with new meaning, the old Negro hymn, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. God bless you. Thank God.
Right now, I'm going to introduce Verdenia Baker. Verdenia is actually a certified government financial manager. She's responsible for assisting the county administrator in the management of activities necessary to ensure the efficient and effective operation of county government. With a budget of approximately $3.9 billion, 6,338 employees, and a population here in Palm Beach County of about 1.3 million people. In 1987, Verdenia began her career with Palm Beach County as a budget analyst, and today she oversees the daily management of county departments and agencies funded by the Board of County Commissioners. She is our Deputy County Administrator. Verdenia holds a bachelor's degree of science in rehabilitative services, a master's of science in public administration, both from Florida State University, and she's a Golden Life member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, West Palm Beach chapter. She has numerous affiliations, both locally and nationally, and she was very gracious to come out tonight and serve as our moderator. Thank you, Verdenia.
Good evening. And I too cannot say to Commissioner Taylor, no. But turnaround is fair play, so I've got plans for you to work. Reverend Dr. Byrd, thank you for that speech, better yet that sermon, another eloquent sermon that I've heard you give. We must be drum majors for justice. Liberty, justice, and love to all people. If we all live by that, this would be a better world for all of us. So, thank you again. I have the distinct honor and privilege of moderating this panel you see behind me. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. And Commissioner Taylor is never silent about the things that matter. And so we do appreciate you putting this for us together. We are here to analyze, evaluate, and discuss the status of the King's dream. As you are all aware, Dr. King in '63 gave the famous "I Have a Dream" speech, reflected, speaking figuratively, equality for all men, harmony among the races, equal justice for all, judgment based on the content of one's character and not the color of their skin, and everyone and thing being on the same plane. This panel this evening, retired Judge Edward Rogers, Judge Ronald Alvarez, Reverend Verona Matthews, Reverend Pastor Tracy Wilkins, Danny Martell, Joseph Hill, Marsha Andrews, Chief Gauger, and Chief Clarence Williams, along with Dr. Byrd being added to the panel as well. They will serve as our panelists tonight. The panel is assembled this evening representing the following sectors of our community. That is judicial, law enforcement, our business community, education, and last but not least, our faith-based community. Panel members will take up to 5 minutes to introduce themselves and provide you with their opinion on the status of the King's Dream as it relates to their particular sector. After the panel has concluded, we will begin to take questions from the audience. So start to think about your questions that you would like to ask the various sectors. Please raise your hand if you have questions that you want to submit, that you would prefer not to ask yourself. If you will introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you and your opinion on the status of the dream as it relates to education.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Marcia Andrews, and I'm a resident of Palm Beach County, grew up in Palm Beach County, graduated from Roosevelt High School, and came back to Palm Beach County and began an education retirement, especially out in the Glades area, because I knew that they could use some support and assistance from the educational arena. And then after that, I ran for the school board, and so now I'm a school board member, and I've been a school board member for the past 2 years, going into my 3rd year. And the state of the dream. We are from Palm Beach County. We are a rich county. When you start looking at statistics about Palm Beach County, we're the 5th largest in the state, 11th national. We've been an A-rated district for the past 8 years. We've received so many awards. But when we start talking about the state of the dream, we're talking about all children in Palm Beach County getting that A-rated education. All facilities in Palm Beach County being A-rated. Parents being able to have the voice necessary for our children and have the training necessary to help our children. And to make sure that all children are college and career ready, especially for those who have been left behind. And we have a percentage of children in Palm Beach County who have been left behind. And as a school district, school board member, and someone who works closely with the superintendent and the schools, our goal is to make sure that we put processes and procedures together to make sure students are first, that we work with the families and the communities, and that we hire high-quality teachers, because in order for Dr. King's dream to be reality, we've got to have the right people in the classroom in front of our students, and I mean teaching. Those who have the ability and the knowledge to make sure that all children receive the best education possible so that they can be college ready and career ready. And we've got to make sure we hold those accountable who are in front of our kids so that we can make sure that our children will be able to reach the great dream that Martin Luther King talks about. So we've got to educate our parents for sure and let them know that they have an active role in making sure that the school district of Palm Beach County, which is a lovely school district, and I think we do a great job, but we've got a long way to go to make sure no one is left behind. And we've got to make sure we empower our communities to step up to the plate and investigate the activities of the Palm Beach County School District so that all children are getting the best education possible. And in order for the dream to be a success, we've got to dig deep and find those children that we're leaving behind, those who may not have graduated. I know that we have done a good job with the graduation rate. It's better than it was before, but we still have a long way to go. We've got to look at those suspensions. We've got to look at the mental health of our children. We've got to make sure we dig deep into the families and the communities and make sure that they know what's necessary for them to work with the schools. And we've got to make sure our schools, Dr. King would want our schools to be user-friendly for families, for parents, for the community, to walk the walk with teachers and administrators and school boards to make sure you have the right to say what you need to say to make sure the children are getting the best education. So there's a lot of work to do to get to the dream. And when you think about Palm Beach County, we're doing some things well. but we've got a lot of things that we've got to do better. And as a school board member, I'm working closely with our superintendent, with our school board, to make sure that we look at those aspects of Palm Beach County School District, to put them on par with the kinds of things Dr. King wants us to be about, making sure that all of our children have a top-level, high-quality education. Thank you.
All right. I want to echo, I want to say amen to our educator. In 1953, America came together legislatively with Brown versus Board of Education, May 17, 1954. It was to break down barriers of segregation within education. Today, schools are more segregated than they were in 1954. There's a problem, and there's a problem that we're not addressing with the dream. We need to begin to see and to work on bringing our nation together educationally. And it begins with parents, and it begins with those of us who are in education. There's still work to be done. There's still work to be done.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clarence Williams. I am the police chief for the city of Verdenia Beach, and I've had the privilege of serving that marvelous community for the past 10 years. It is always exciting when you see government in action, when you see committed members of the community coming out to celebrate and to dialogue about issues that are germane and important for sustaining life in our communities. And what an event. I think Commissioner Taylor is to be commended. Join me. A round of applause for Commissioner Taylor. It's hard to say no to her, but as I talked with her and she told me about the program and what she expected from me, I said, I don't know if I can deliver that or not, but we'll try. And I had the opportunity to talk with the moderator. I said, what in the heck am I doing here? And she was able to set my feet on solid ground. She said, we're here to talk about how does the beauty of Dr. King's dream compare with the realities of racial and economic equality in Palm Beach County. Well, I'm a little old police chief, and at one point I was a little old country lawyer. But travel with me and just imagine in your sanctified minds, because that's what I'm going to do, and that's the approach that I'm going to take. I would imagine if Dr. King was here and I was able to have a conversation with him and I'd pose that question to him, Dr. King might say, well, Chief, you know, we've come a long way since the days of Bull Connor. But Chief, we didn't take to the streets, march, bleed, and die simply to change the color of law enforcement. He would say, no, 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 my brother. We did all of that to change the character of law enforcement. He would also go on to say, Chief, let me remind you that no man can rise above the condition of his people. If your people are perceived as nothing, so too will you be perceived as nothing. Black police chief, remember that. But he might then talk about, and we might digress a bit, and he would remind me, well, Chief, you know, we're here to talk